Perfect. Hello. Thank you for coming here today. My name is Karen. That's Karen Belcher. Where do I work? I work actually for KCC, for Sensory Services. My role is the deaf community worker. So the reason I've invited you all to come here today, you must be wondering, but I want to know more about Kent Supported Employment. I know it's known as KSE, but just so we're clear about that. First, I thought perhaps I could ask Joe, can I ask you to explain about yourself and your role so I have a better understanding? Right, well, I've worked for KSE for 5 years as an employment support officer. Recently, I finished my level 6 BSL. Hopefully the results, I will get them before Christmas, hopefully. Well, fingers crossed. Most people I support are deaf. When I first get a referral, I email or text that person, so I can explain the sign language. Whether we need to get an interpreter or whether we can work between us. If they're happy to work with me, then that's fine, and then we arrange a date. We arrange a date for a meeting on Zoom, a face-to-face meeting, but via Zoom. So that because we're not allowed to meet actual face-to-face at the moment because of the COVID restrictions. So we have to do it remotely. So I ask lots of questions, deep questions, so I can have a better understanding of that person, so that I can get to know their character. And then I explain what actually they can expect from KSE and how we will support them. Oh, that's great. Thanks for that. That's really interesting. KSE, what actually is it? When the person is looking for a job, or maybe they even already have a job, but they feel they need a bit of extra support, we can start from the start of the journey to the end of the journey with them. We can help them, support them to write CVs or applying for jobs. If they need support with their English grammar and things like that, we can help with that. And travel training if they need that, and support them until they get a job, and then we will go with them until they feel comfortable in their role, and then we slowly withdraw, so we can leave them to make sure that once they're comfortable and they're working well and they've developed their confidence, then we will withdraw. Oh, that's really interesting. So if the person's aim is to apply, how do you find out what their communication is, and when they make an application, how do you find that when they're looking for work? It's difficult for them to work with their CV and things, so you'll help them translate their CVs and things because they're BSL users. Yes, we help with everything. We will help. Once we contact them, we will ask them their preferred mode of communication. So then we'll set up the meeting via video or Zoom, so that we can share screens and things like that, so that both of us can work together to achieve this. It's not me doing it for them or just giving them a job or something like that. No. It has to be a joint venture, so that we're both working together to achieve this. So does that mean the person still has the responsibility to look for work? Yes, absolutely. And they've got to look in the newspaper and all the places where you look for jobs. It's still their responsibility. Oh, yes, we both do that. So would you be able to show them jobs that if they were available? Yes, that's fine. We could do that. And then I would support them, both of us. We would work together to do. If I saw something, I would, that was advertised, I think, email them quickly and say, what do you think about this? This is worth applying for, perhaps. What do you think? And then they would apply. So your support with the deaf people so far, have you had many? Yes. I've supported a lot of deaf people before. In my old job, I used to work at a deaf college, and that was my work. I used to do that, and now I see lots of them still coming through and really working towards independence, and they're actually working and getting their own wage and everything, which is just fabulous. That's lovely. Thank you for explaining that to me. You're welcome. Kate, can you tell me about your role, please?
Hi, I'm an employment support officer, and I've been working for Kent Supported Employment for 12 years. I'm hearing impaired myself, and I have a bilateral sensory neural hearing loss from birth. I wear 2 hearing aids and rely on lip reading. Growing up, I always relied on radio aids, note takers and lip reading. When I started working with people from the deaf community, I felt as though I had a basic understanding of the tiredness that they might experience from trying to keep up with fast-flowing conversations and the anxieties of not being able to hear properly. I also have some understanding of the equipment access to work might be able to offer. I really love my role, meeting new people and supporting people to reach their full potential. It's just a really, really nice kind of job to help people and sort of, seeing people make their way in life.
Oh, that's interesting. Thank you. Can you explain to me about who would apply for support from KSE? Who would those people be? What happen? Does that mean they must live in Kent, or they must be through a social worker or something like that? Tell me, what's the pathway to get your support?
So our service supports both people who are looking for employment and people who are currently in work and experiencing difficulty. Anyone can access our service as long as they have a disability and are living in Kent. We work with people from a wide range of backgrounds that have all kinds of disabilities. So if you want to work and you feel you need that support, please do contact us.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's fantastic. Can I just clarify? I work for KCC, so we work with people who live in Kent, but we can't support people who live in Medway.
That is
so because
true.
They have their own independent council. So is that the same for you, or can you support Medway as well? How would that work?
Currently, we are supporting people who just live in Kent because that's the main bulk of our work. But we are starting to work with people from Medway, but this again is on an individualised contract. So currently, we are supporting people who live currently in Kent.
So if you support people to find, and to achieve and get a job, so would you support them through in their job as well? So, for example, would you help them apply to be thinking about what support they would need in their role?
Yes, so we can. So as part of the journey in supported employment, we can talk to people about what sort of aids and adaptations they feel they may need at work. So, for example, if they feel that they would need an interpreter for an interview or even during work for supervisions, or sort of meetings with their employer, we can support you guys to apply for access to work to get that funding for those interpreters. We can also support you to apply for access to work for equipment such as the Compilot 2 or Roger Pen. So we would help you to look at what sort of aid you feel would be beneficial, or who to talk to about what kind of equipment's out there that's suitable for your needs.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Thank you. So, but I understand just recently they've set up Assign Live. So, that's a new as far as I understand. Is that right?
Yes.
How does that work?
So basically, we have now recently gained our trusted assessor status, which means people can now refer themselves to our service. This is still done on a case-by-case basis. We are now on the Sign Live directory, which means if you're registered with the Sign Live app, you will be able to contact Kent Supported Employment through that to make inquiries and to obtain our referral form if needed. You don't have to just refer yourself. If you have a care manager or a case manager, you can ask them to refer you as well. Once we've received the referral, we will make contact with you within 2 weeks. So this is usually done by video, text message, email, telephone call, to make a virtual appointment with you to discuss our service. So if you were working with me, I would then ask your registered interpreter to facilitate this meeting as well.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. That's really interesting. It's interesting to learn about access to work and all that kind of support. That's really great. Thank you. Thank you for all explaining all of that. Now, Sarah, have you got anything you want to add to any of that?
I don't know. I think Kate and Jo did such a great job of explaining what we do. But yeah, just I guess to wrap up, we, like Kate said, we support lots of different people with lots of different support needs. So we really would encourage anyone to sort of get in contact if they feel they could benefit from a little bit of support. We spend a lot of time getting to know the individual and listening to what it is that they want to achieve and how they want to achieve it, so we can support them along their journey. Everybody is very different. Some people need a fair bit of support and some people only need a little bit. So everything is different for every individual, and we work differently with those that we support. So if anybody is considering wanting a little bit of help, then please do get in contact, because we'd love to support you.
That's really great. That's so interesting to learn all about that, and to learn about KSE and all about your service. Thank you so much for coming today. It's been great. Thank you. I think we're finished now. And to say goodbye.
Goodbye. Thanks,
Bye.
guys.